The 18th of February 2026. EU gas and fuel hypocrisy. It's very cold outside, you need fuel. The temperature's about 4 degrees in rural Ireland and it's wet. You'd be very uncomfortable. You might survive, well, if you could stay in bed or something, I don't know, but you would not stay still indoors. And it's uncomfortable and cold outside as well. And it's hard work for garage people working with open doors to work on cars. I often pity them that some garages you can't actually heat them. But we're going to look at the situation. The EU has produced a law, an LAW, to stop imports of Russian now pipeline fuel will be banned in September this year, 2026. And gas by ship, that's LNG, liquid natural gas, which is compressed. It has a big egg-shaped dome on the ships, maybe 3 or 4 of them. It's banned from the end of, I think it's the end of January 2027. Be one way or the other again. Pipeline gas banned September. Gas by ship, LNG, liquid natural gas, by the end of the year. So this time next year, all Russian gas and all Russian fuel should be banned from the EU. That's what they're telling us. So let's see what's happening. In January this year, 2026, the EU imported in liquefied natural gas 2.76 billion cubic billion. You could say 2.2 cubic billion meters of gas. In the same period last year, it was 2.05. The total figure for the year 2025 to the end of January is 12.2 billion cubic meters, up 6% on the same period the year before. The EU has added to its sanctions lists, which many say are hurting Europe more than Russia, but they say it's to pressurise them to end the war in Ukraine. In other words, to give in and pack up and go home. Some hope of that happening. The main suppliers to Europe was was Norway, that's where we get it in Ireland, the United States, Algeria, and fourth was Russia. Russian oil and gas was 40% of Europe's needs. That's cut by 2/3, leaving it 1/3. That's 13.5%, with a huge increase in American imported fuel, which some say only costs 1.6 times the price. I say it's 4 times the price, but we'll not argue about that. So we still have 13.5% of Europe's fuel coming from Russia. Here are the countries that reactivated coal plants: France, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and Italy. They've started back to coal. So as they cut the gas, which they claim was cleaner, they go back to coal. Where are the wind farms and where are the solar farms? Cuba is facing an energy crisis. Where are the wind farms and solar farms there? In the 1st of July last year, Germany passed laws to allow coal-fired plants to generate electricity. Now, an article in Electric back a while boasts about Ireland being one of the first countries or the next to ditch coal. And there's a Machiavelli woman there, I think she's for the energy regulator. She pointed out that the contradiction in government plans: while retiring coal, Ireland is also aiming to build 2 gigawatts of new gas power plants, with no clear plan to wean off gas, which powers the majority of electricity generation, 48%. Now it is time for Ireland's government to be clear that a net zero carbon system prioritising battery storage, demand reduction and renewables is the answer to the country's climate. And I claim they are net consumers of electricity. In the Republic of Ireland at the moment, actual electricity demand on this cold morning, well, it's 1 o'clock now, is 4,976. So it's essentially 5,000 megawatts. That would be very high a few years ago before the data centers come in, right? Now, the wind contribution now is 1947. Solar is 100, which is nothing. That wouldn't make up, 100's no good. So solar's not working at all. I'm not surprised. But wind is 1947. But there's 4,000 megawatts of wind in the system. And last night at 12 o'clock, the wind was given 3,300. So how is the gap? There's 1,000 difference. There's 1,300 of a difference out of 4,000. So where did that generation come from? It came from coal, oil and gas, all kept running so that when the wind died down, it could be there to pick up. So the wind doesn't save anything in that respect. Now here's an article from Fair Planet. It seems to be fairly up to date. Now here's a graph from the European Energy Agency for the 27 member states 2023 to 2025. So we have the sources here. Oil is a yellow, natural gas is a slaty grey, solid fuel, that's coal, is an orange, nuclear is a kind of a blue, and renewable and biofuels is green, and there's very little of others. So I'll give you a wee look at it here. Do you see it there now? Now, we'll just try and get my finger in here without putting off anything. So here we are here with my fingers. That's oil, right? Here is natural gas. And here is solid fuel. That's coal. And here is nuclear. And this is renewables. Depending on how you count it, I'd claim it's zero, but count it anyway. So the point is, this is what we're burning. But now the main point there is natural gas accounts for a lot. And oil also comes from Russia. So at the moment, the European Union is still getting Russian oil by the back door and the front door. And is still getting it from Russian gas. So it can get out of this winter, probably. Well, what's going to happen next year? How are they going to deal with that? I'll get back to it again. It's only a 7-minute video, but it seems to me there are a lot of people very cold. Now, pubs are shutting all over the place because what's happening is you open a pub and everyone comes in and gets a glass of water and sits there the whole day reading the paper, getting your heat. So you're providing free heat. If they're not drinking, they're not making money. A lot of pubs only open 3 days a week. They can't break even because their fixed costs are too high. It's getting like that with hotels as well. So it is an unbelievable situation. And like when you look at it here, the contribution, even by this standard for renewables, and we have a lot of renewables. Look at the top, the green. That's an average out. And there'll be days there's none. There's a bit of wind today. Not much. Or a bit. And it's very cold out. So this is a huge crisis for European Union and the member states' governments, and I'll keep you up to date on it. The main point is it's nearly time now the windmills were proven to work, and we also know that why is it with Cuba facing a shortage? Why haven't they windmills and solar panels? Why did North Korea install windmills and solar farms? You can't use them on their own. There has to be 33% of the grid fossil fuel or nuclear. We'll see you back, folks, on that and let you go. Bye-bye. It's getting cold here now, so